So, remember when I reviewed When the Dead Go to Die and I said I would rather watch The Princess Bride rather than that monstrosity? Well, turns out Disney heard me, as it'll be coming to Disney Plus May 1st. And my husband says, now you have to watch it.
Here we come! It's the start of Inuyasha!
We're going to gather all the shards of the sacred jewel!
And I'll destroy Naraku with my Tensaiga! It's up to all of us!
Travel back in time for a feudal fairy tale!
Aloha! Welcome to Scintillating Reviews. We'll be reviewing a series that has been close to my heart since I was 12. Inuyasha. When one of my old best friends introduced me to Inuyasha, I couldn't help but be intrigued by it. She came for a sleepover one night for the sole purpose of teaching me the characters and their backgrounds, and when we saw an episode, she apologized to me because that was not a good episode to start with, yet it kept me interested with the backstory of a certain enemy that I'll be discussing later. So really, it was a good start. This series is one I turned to when I needed something to distract myself from reality, from simple teenager problems to when the 2008 recession hit and my family was getting impacted and I just kept wondering of the what ifs. This series was always there for me when I needed an escape, and staying up on Adult Swim Toonami at 12:30 a.m. Sunday mornings to see the new episodes were totally worth it. This is the longest series I'm doing for review with 193 episodes, and this is including the 26 episodes from the final act. So I know I'll be missing information, but if there's anything you want me to cover, let me know in the comments below. I won't be including the movies as they are not part of the main storyline, but I will be making a video in the future that will be reviewing all of the movies. Look forward to that, and spoiler alert is now in effect. A feudal fairy tale. We travel 500 years in the past to discover a being named Inuyasha, a half-demon with intentions of stealing what is known as the sacred Shikon jewel in order for him to become a full-fledged demon.
Finally, a way for me to become all demon at last!
Before he could completely disappear, a priestess named Kikyo shot a sacred arrow, striking Inuyasha with him being pinned to a sacred tree, sealing him for an eternal sleep. Kikyo was wounded and passed away, asking to burn the sacred Shikon jewel with her. Fast forward to modern era, we see Kagome Higurashi, a middle school student who lives with her mom, grandpa, and her little brother Sota. Oh, and let's introduce her cat Buyo.
That, my dear, is an authentic mummified hand of a water imp, which...
Here, Buyo. Eat.
Wow, that's an antique!
She is ready to take off to school when she finds her brother by the well trying to find the cat. They do, but the well seal is broken. A demon's arm drags her into the well. She climbs out, confused on what has happened. She finds the sacred tree that is the same tree that has been at her family home. Instead of being home, she has her first meeting with Inuyasha, who is still under the eternal sleep.
That means I'm practically home. Is that a boy?
A centipede demon comes and attacks the village and notices Kagome, wanting to attack her and give her the sacred jewel. Kagome runs to the forest of Inuyasha. At the same time, he reawakens from his slumber. The centipede attacks Kagome, ripping out the Shikon jewel from her body. The centipede demon traps Kagome. Inuyasha pleads her to take the arrow out so he can get rid of the demon against the action.
Nay, child. Once the arrow is removed, then Inuyasha will be free to destroy us all.
Don't be stupid, you old hag! At least with me you've got a chance, whereas that thing's gonna eat you!
The next day, Kagome is taken by a group of bandits who are ordering her to hand over the sacred jewel. Turning out, the leader was actually a big crow demon who has taken control of the bandit leader. It snatches the jewel and flies away. Kagome with her arrow hits the crow demon and the jewel with it. The jewel shatters in many shards, and that starts the adventure with Inuyasha and Kagome to finding the sacred jewel shards. There are hundreds of characters to be introduced, but we will only focus on those that have strong ties with the enemy. More on this later. The friends that they meet along the way are ones with power and vengeance against the same enemy. The group first meets Shippo, a young fox demon that lost his father due to the Thunder Brothers. After destroying the Thunder Brothers, Shippo tags along with Inuyasha and Kagome.
Feisty little thing, aren't you? Nice tail. Looks like a badger or a squirrel.
I'm a fox, heathen! A fox? It talks? Cool.
Then they meet Naraku, a very, over-friendly monk.
Then do me this good turn, will you? I wish for you to bear me a son.
In all seriousness, he is cursed with the wind tunnel, a power that can suck up anything in his path. The wind tunnel is located in his right hand. Lastly, Sango, who is a demon slayer. She wields the Hiraikos, a giant boomerang made out of demon bones. She is paired with her cute and adorable faithful companion Kilala, who is a twin-tailed cat demon. She's cute when she's tiny, but when she grows big, watch out. Sango is my favorite character in the series.
Wait. You know who we are. We've known you for years. Why isn't he your favorite character?
I will get there in a minute! I picked Sango as my favorite because, like her, I used to have a faithful companion named Lita who was a Rottweiler. Her and I were inseparable, and she stood her ground even she smelled something unusual. Lita will always be my Kilala. Okay. Now that we got the main six, I will move on to the others. The enemy that I mentioned is Naraku. Stop me if this doesn't make any sense. 50 years in the past, Naraku used to be a human, a bandit by the name of Onigumo. Onigumo suffered burns by a building that was caught on fire and was presumed dead. Kikyo found Onigumo and did her best to nurse him back to health, leading the bandit to fall for Kikyo. He made a deal with the demons that entered the cave for them to devour Onigumo, and in exchange, Onigumo was requesting for full strength and mobility, now being born under the name Naraku. Naraku was the one that caused the wind tunnel in Miroku's right hand, as Miroku's grandfather was the one who first received the curse. In time, if Naraku is not defeated, the hole will grow bigger, resulting in being sucked into your own hand for all eternity. Miroku watched his own father fall to the curse. Sango, along with her father, her little brother Kohaku, and other demon slayers from the Demon Slayer village, were summoned to a castle to slay a giant spider demon. Kohaku, under the trance of a spider, kills his own father and the other demon slayers. He almost attempted to kill his sister with his weapon, as Kohaku was killed with arrows from the castle soldiers. Sango was tricked by Naraku to kill Inuyasha, who was presumed to kill the Demon Slayer village and everyone who lived in that village. Kohaku was later discovered alive because of the sacred jewel shard in his body, which is the one thing keeping him alive. Naraku, jealous of Kikyo and Inuyasha's relationship, disguised himself as Kikyo and Inuyasha to deceive each other, resulting in each other in them turning against each other. Our group isn't the only ones that Naraku deceived. We first have Koga, a young leader from the Wolf Demon tribe.
Aw, come on!
Just shush! As I was saying, Koga, the leader of the Wolf Demon tribe, he has speed on his side. When we first meet Koga, he has hold of 3 shards, 1 in each leg and 1 in his right arm. He took infatuation really well towards Kagome, so when you see him, be prepared for him to swoon Kagome into marrying him. Koga's wolf pack were slaughtered by Naraku's incarnation, Kagra, who is a wind sorceress. Now he searches for Naraku to get revenge for his comrades. Okay. Now I will talk about him.
Yay! About time! You have such a soft spot for anti-heroes.
Inuyasha has an older brother named Sesshomaru who is a full-fledged demon. He despises Inuyasha, who is able to wield the Tetsaiga, a sword that can slay 100 demons in one stroke.
The Fang. It is a fang I seek here. Once I possess it, I shall transform myself into a far greater power.
When Sesshomaru finds the Tetsaiga, he gets rejected by the sword. During the heat of battle with Inuyasha, Sesshomaru, in his true dog demon form, lost his left arm. Naraku appears later and lends Sesshomaru a human left arm that can help wield the Tetsaiga. Embedded in the arm is a Shikon jewel shard. During another fight, Inuyasha tears away part of the arm, getting the Tetsaiga back. The rest of the arm that is attached to Sesshomaru threatened to burn him alive. He tears the arm off, and Saimyosho, Naraku's poisonous insects, take the jewel back. To everyone's surprise, when I first saw Sesshomaru from episodes 5 to 7, I thought he was a dick. The way that he tricked Inuyasha like that, it was cruel and hurtful, until I learned why. And that is for another video. If you want to hear my thoughts on why I say that, comment below that you want to know what my complete thoughts were from when I first met him to how I feel about him now, as that is a whole video by itself. In the first 4 seasons, with the exception of the last few videos in season 4, the animation will draw you back to your nostalgia days. From 5th season on, the animation starts to get a little bit more advanced, bringing the characters and the environment to life. The story does sometimes tend to drag a bit, but unlike Naruto or Dragon Ball, a good 90% of the episodes do stick with the manga arc, with 10 episodes being a mix of canon and filler. A little piece of advice is pay attention to their conversations, because sometimes they'll give a flashback and some information that you might have missed in the past seasons. And speaking of flashbacks, so many unnecessary flashbacks. I don't think we could get so many flashbacks in one show. I should have made a counter list. I think, and don't quote me, but I believe I've seen the scene where Inuyasha gets pinned to the tree by Kikyo's arrow maybe close to 15 times. I get it that it's so important to remember, but we don't need to be reminded by the many flashbacks. I believe after the first 5 times, I'll remember it for sure. It makes sense to have a flashback reel when we enter into a new season, but come on! I think we are having a little overkill on the flashbacks. The final act was truly the final act. Like many fans, I wasn't taking it well when David Kaye no longer voiced Sesshomaru, and instead Michael Dangerfield took over the role. Michael voiced Han Solo from LEGO Star Wars The Yoda Chronicles, Superman from Crypto the Superdog, and many other characters. When I heard some of his lines and I placed Sesshomaru's face with it, I did not think he could do it. But he did something that I don't think David could have done. Unless it was a character development for Sesshomaru, he was able to pull off emotions for Sesshomaru, and he was able to play him respectedly. Kagome, Kaede, and Kohaku all had voice changes, so that was a little hard to adjust. I think newcomers should give it a shot. Inuyasha is many anime fans' first anime that they grew up on, so Inuyasha is considered a nostalgic show for many. Me too, alongside Fruits Baskets. I can't tell you how many times I laughed at the show, especially when we have our segments of Inuyasha and Kagome together, when they have those petty arguments with each other, and she just yells out from the bottom of her lungs, out of anger, "Sit!" and he collapsed on the ground due to the beads of subjugation.
Hey, what are you doing to the cat? Sit, boy!
This is just a fun anime that you can enjoy. I'll post a link in the description box below to show which episodes you can skip if you're not a fan of fillers. But I would suggest for you to watch all of it, as they are fun episodes and gives you a break from the adventures of finding the sacred jewel shards. I have to give a high praise to Inuyasha. Thanks for watching Let's Review with cyntillatingreviews. If you want to read the full article of the review, click on the link down below. And we also have a Facebook, Twitter, and follow me on Instagram at CEMadison. Our simplest prevention is our biggest protection. Take care of yourselves and others as you practice social distancing, washing hands, and staying at home. Let's get better by starting to make our world better to reduce the spread of COVID-19. See you later on another day.